Welcome to Daily 5 for Wednesday, April 19th, 2023. Lando and I were recently looking for a new game to play cooperatively because we've kind of run through everything and we've sort of soured on a lot of the types of games we've been playing. So we wanted to get back to something that was a little bit different. And so I looked and I happened to see that Gotham Knights, the game that came out in... God, was that this year? No, I think it was last year. Was it? I have no sense of time anymore. Anyway, the relatively recently released Gotham Knights video game, which when it came out, did not exactly wow over critics or a lot of players because it was riddled with performance issues just from a technical standpoint. And then a lot of people complained about the fact that it wasn't nearly as good as the game it was trying to imitate, which of course was the Arkham series from Rocksteady, and that it just had a lot of problems and graphical limitations, things like that. So I watched some gameplay videos. I saw that some patches had come out. I saw the Digital Foundry review that demonstrated that many of the technical issues had been rectified. And so I watched some gameplay videos, and honestly, I didn't see a lot that I didn't like. I saw enough that I thought there might be something fun for me and Lando. So I saw that on PlayStation it had a free 1-hour trial where you could try the game out. And I thought, great, it's over 50% off. It was only $28. And there's a trial. Let's see if this game is worth getting. So each of us played through the trial, and that's actually what I want to talk about today. Not the game itself. We'll have stuff to say about that in the future once we've played a little more of it, and I think we'll have a lot to say about it. But the 1-hour game trial. Now, I'm not going to say that this trial was necessarily worthless. That wouldn't really be fair. It did demonstrate that many of the performance issues were pretty much, as far as we could tell, rectified because we did a number of different things that would have shown if there was an issue. It certainly didn't crash every 5 minutes or anything like that, say like Fallout 76 did early on. So we were able to verify that there weren't any glaring problems. But in terms of experiencing the game, I'm not sure I've played a worse trial because it barely let us do anything between cutscenes and just basic traversal stuff. Press X to jump. Here's how you run. Here's how you punch. That ate up most of the trial time. And one of the game's major selling points was a cooperative gameplay experience. And we never got to it. We never got to it in the trial. In fact, I think we had to play another because we ended up picking up the game. Just as, we did. We did get the game because I thought there was enough promise there that I figured we'd have fun playing it. And then I think we both had to do about another 30 minutes to finish out the tutorial and then do a mission before the co-op was unlocked, which is just ridiculous. Because that trial did not tell us anything about the gameplay outside of the bare basic fact that, guess what? It does run. It did validate that it runs and that it wasn't choking on the frame rate every, time you did some kind of action that was outside. So I'll give it that. Again, it wasn't a completely pointless endeavor, but as far as giving a flavor of the game, it barely gave us anything. The idea that this should be a timed trial is ridiculous. What this really should have been was a trial that lets you play up to one mission ahead of the tutorial that you could do in a cooperative state so that you and somebody else could play one night. Because the way it works is you patrol for a night. Let us do one night, no boss missions, no story elements, just a night patrol where you and somebody else, for as long as you want, run around and play the game. And I think it's either that they didn't have confidence people would want to play it, which tells you something, or that they just went by this 1-hour deadline, which is it should not be based that way. Most games do not really, at least when you're initially trying them out, the time is not the essence of it. It's trying to get a sense of the game. And if you are confident that you've made a good game and you want people to be able to play it, then you should give them the ability to play at least one mission. Again, you can cut out the story elements and not have a boss fight or anything, but at least be able to experience something of the actual game without a time limitation. There can be a barrier, of course. You don't want people playing your whole game for free. I understand that. But it should allow you to experience what the game is. And I mean, if you don't have confidence in your game, then you shouldn't offer a trial at all, because to do something like this almost made us not buy it. It wasn't necessarily the game itself. It was the fact that the trial seems so truncated. And we actually were discussing, is there something missing from this? Or is there something that's really terrible about it and they don't want you to see it? Because it just didn't feel like it was a correct trial for the type of game at all. Now, we ended up getting it, and so far, like I said, we'll have more to say about it, but we don't hate it. But again, my specific thing is this trial. The way this one was structured, and I think a lot of them are time-based, at least the ones I can think of. This does not suit what a game trial should be very well at all. It really should be allowing you to play the game, not just giving you a sample of a certain part that you then have to make a decision off of. So I would say game trials should be more about experiencing the game and not about time limits. Anyway, that's it. Later.